Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ba'd. Alhamdulillah, I want to congratulate everyone for almost completing Ramadan. And this is really a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we think about it, that Allah has given us an opportunity to witness another blessed month of Ramadan. Even if you've had many Ramadans that you've had in the past, every time we're able to benefit from a month like this, where we're going to get so many extra credit opportunities to earn lots of reward and lots of good deeds, which we all need. And we're going to get an opportunity to change our lives and become better and different people in the month of Ramadan. This is something that we should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for. And secondly, it's really important to remember that Ramadan is not over yet. So it is Friday right now, and Eid is expected to be on Sunday, probably 99% probability. Okay, so at IAOC, we follow the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America, which have the criterion of global sighting. So we will announce, inshallah, today at 9 p.m. California time, Pacific time, that Eid is confirmed for Sunday, which it most likely will be, but that's the criteria that we follow. So a few things to keep in mind is that Ramadan, that means that we still have the entire day today. We have the night of Ramadan. Will be the last night of Ramadan. This is going to be the last night that we're praying Taraweeh prayer. And this is the only Taraweeh prayer you get to perform you can only do it in the month of Ramadan. So this is an opportunity we should not miss. This is going to be our last night of Taraweeh prayer. Make it count. And you can pray tahajjud throughout the year, but it's a little bit different of a prayer. Almost the same, but slightly different. So finish strong. Finish Ramadan very strong. It is said that when people are in a marathon or in a race or something like that, they have to pace themselves throughout the month or throughout the race, or even in a sports competition, they have to pace themselves and then finish very strong. Those are usually the people who are strong winners. Muhammad Ali, rahmatullah alayhi, may Allah have mercy on him, very well-known Muslim world figure, boxer. He used to, one of the things he was known for in his strategy was he would be able to pace himself throughout the fight, and then he would finish really strong, and that resulted in a lot of his victories. That was a strategy that we should also be learning from when it comes to Ramadan. So finish strong. Hopefully you've been pacing yourself properly. Hopefully you've been pushing yourself during the last 10 nights. This is still one of the last 10 nights, technically. So it could be the night of Laylatul Qadr still. So we should push ourselves tonight, pray that extra prayer. And tomorrow we're still fasting. And if we're still fasting, it's still Ramadan until Maghrib time. That means we can still recite Quran. This is the time where if you got a little bit sluggish in reciting Quran, you didn't keep up, your schedule of how much Quran you wanted to read. This is your opportunity. It's your opportunity to read some books of tafsir. This is your opportunity to do many, many things. And we've gone through a Ramadan which is completely unique. And alhamdulillah, we survived. Alhamdulillah, we did fine, inshallah ta'ala, even though the masajid were closed, and it's very sad to see that, and hopefully they'll be opening very soon, inshallah. At the same time, we still worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is a huge blessing from Allah. So stay strong, keep the Ramadan going. It's not over yet. And when it is over, remember, keep those changes that you had made in the month of Ramadan, keep some of them throughout the year. You've been reading Quran, and then you don't just stop completely reading Quran after Ramadan's over. You've been controlling your anger. You don't just resume your anger issues or whatever after Ramadan. If you have maintained able to quit smoking during Ramadan because you're not doing it during fasting, keep that up. Keep that quitting, whether it's smoking shisha or smoking cigarettes or whatever. Get those habits out. If you've been controlling your language, keep it up throughout the year after Ramadan is over. So do those things. The second thing is with regards to Eid. So Eid prayer is not going to be performed in our masjid at IAOC. because the masjid is closed. So there will not be any Eid prayer taking place. A lot of people have been asking about that because we cannot have a gathering of more than 10 people. And if we were to have a few people come and do the Eid prayer, it would not be fair to the rest, because Eid is supposed to be a giant community event. So when it comes to Eid, you have pretty much a few options. Option number one is you simply don't need to pray Eid because it's not available for you to pray. The second option is that you can gather together in a small group. If one of you knows how to perform the Eid prayer, or somebody, you have a family friend or something that is able to give khutbah and knows how to perform the Eid prayer, at least in a decent manner, and they meet the minimum requirements of Jummah prayer, then a small family can gather together, 9, 10 people, and they can go ahead and perform the Eid prayer. And if they can't, then it skips. And then the third opinion is that you can pray the Eid prayer with your family on an individual level, even without having to perform the khutbah after the prayer. So this is an opinion that many scholars have adopted as well. So even though at IAOC, we're encouraging the second opinion, well, the first opinion technically, that it's not a requirement. These are all opinions that you can follow. All of them are valid. They're all held by reliable scholars. So if you think, to pray even alone, you can go ahead and do that. I personally encourage that there should be a group to perform Eid prayer, and somebody should know how to perform it properly. So if you have that, great. And if you don't, then it's okay. You don't need to perform Eid prayer. You can just perform a duha prayer in the early morning, 2 rakahs, 2 units of prayer, and that suffices. And even if you didn't do that, the Eid prayer is dropped. It's not a big deal, because many people miss Eid prayer when they're traveling for whatever other reason. We're in very abnormal circumstances. So you shouldn't feel like, we're missing out on the social feeling and the community feeling, and that's a very big deal. But no one is going to be held responsible for missing the Eid prayer, the same way that many people are not able to pray the Friday prayer, the Jummah prayer, because there's no small gathering of 10 people for them to join. So that's okay. Don't feel bad about it. Inshallah ta'ala, hopefully the next Eid will be in about 2 months. Hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, the situation will be much better by then, and we will be able to have Eid prayers. And if not, then definitely, inshallah ta'ala, the next one, inshallah ta'ala. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us relief from this test that we are going through right now. The last thing I'll mention before ending is that there is the fasts of, actually, let me talk about Eid as well. So just because there's no Eid prayer doesn't mean that you should not be celebrating the day of Eid. So it's very important. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, every community has its day of celebration. Day of Eid, he said, and this is our day of celebration. So make sure you are celebrating the day of Eid, whether you pray the prayer or not pray the prayer. You need to pray Fajr prayer, by the way, that's a requirement. But the rest of that, the Eid prayer, whether you pray it or you don't pray it, observe the day of Eid. Wake up in the morning, take a bath, take a shower, wear your nicest clothing. Even if you're alone, even if you're living alone, you're like a college student, living at home or living somewhere, alone in the dorm or something like that, put on your best clothing, apply some fragrance, make sure to have a breakfast. The reason why we eat a breakfast after dawn, right? Because normally we have a pre-dawn meal, the suhoor, when we're fasting. So now you should eat something, even if it's something small, like a little breakfast after dawn, so that you're showing that you're not fasting anymore. So basically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he told you to fast, you fasted. You obeyed Allah, and you did not eat during the daytime. So now when Allah is telling you fasting is over and you're not supposed to fast, as the Prophet ﷺ taught us, then you are showing that, I'm also not fasting now, because Allah told me not to fast on this day. So you do that and you glorify Allah, you make your takbirat, saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Those takbirat, connect with your family, give your family and friends a call, especially even those family members who, maybe there's some drama between you all for the last few years. Try and bring family together on Eid. That's really what it's about. It's about socializing with everyone, even virtually, but especially family. Families can sometimes, get into conflict, stop talking to one another. There's some bad blood between them. This is that day. This is the day where you reach out to people and say, you know what? Let bygones be bygones, as they say. Let's reconnect. I want to wish you a happy Eid, and it's good talking to you. And even if you only call them, on the 2 days of Eid, very distant family or family that there's been some issues with, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you. You be the one to go and make that connection. Inshallah, Allah ta'ala will reward you. And just express happiness throughout the day. Right. So even if we can't have this giant gathering and we cannot have parties and celebrations or even meet with a lot of friends, we can at least connect with them on a virtual level, give them a phone call. These are all blessings from Allah. Lastly, the Prophet ﷺ, he said that whoever fasted in Ramadan and then followed it up with 6 days of Shawwal, it's as if he has fasted continuously, meaning like throughout the year. So this is something that we should do. The month of after Ramadan is over, which will most likely be Saturday night, Maghrib time, and it's Shawwal. You cannot fast on Eid day, which is probably on Sunday. But after that, the month of Shawwal, it is highly recommended to fast 6 days, any 6 days in the month of Shawwal. And what that's going to do is that when you fast Ramadan, good deeds are multiplied by 10. At minimum. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran and in Hadith. So multiplied by 10, that's 10 months. 2 months left. If you do 6 fasts of Shawwal, multiplied by 10, that's 60 days, equal to 2 months. So it's like fasting, 12 months, which is an entire year. So you get the reward as if you fasted the entire year. So this is what should be done, inshallah ta'ala. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us, to help us to remember him throughout the rest of Ramadan, remember him throughout our lives, and to have a joyous and blessed day of Eid. Kulla aam wa antum bi khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.